Hello and welcome to this demo video. Before we get started, I'd just like to explain to you a few things which will relate to all of the basic range spreadsheets. Number one, there is a key on the intro and setup tab of all of the spreadsheets showing what the different color headers mean. The blue headers mean that the cell's formulated, so it's locked and you can't change it. The yellow headers are where you can input data, and occasionally there might be some gray headers, which is just a different kind of data input, but we'll include instructions as and when that happens. The other thing that you can be aware of is there are ways in which you can damage the spreadsheet. So please do take a look at the link where you see this image, which will take you to a web page to show you how to better preserve your spreadsheet. Please feel free to keep a blank version of the spreadsheet somewhere, so that if you do mess up a spreadsheet that you're using, you can in fact just open a new one, a blank one. And some of the spreadsheets only last for a year, and then you've got a blank one to start the following year. So do keep a blank copy as a backup somewhere. And lastly, wherever you see this image, you can click on it. It'll take you back to the store where you purchased this product to see if you've got anything, any more products. One last thing, to see a demo video, you can click on this on a link that looks like this in order to go to the demo video, but that'll take you to the most recent demo. If in fact we've done upgrades and you're using an older version and you'd like to see the demo relating to your version, then do click on the watch on YouTube link, which will take you to that specific video on YouTube. So I think that's all you need to know. So without further ado, let's move on to this demo video. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the demo video for the insurance contents valuation list. Does what it says in the tin, really. This is a very simple spreadsheet that you can enter the items for that you want to do a valuation for your insurance. And I've been approached by some businesses saying they would like this for their business, but then also some individuals who go, well, we need this for home as well. So what you can do is you can create categories or rooms as it is. So some insurance companies will say, well, what's in the kitchen, what's in the living room, what's in the bedroom. You may want to break it down further and break it down per category, maybe IT or hardware or whatever in one category, if it's a business, that kind of thing. So you can break this down however you like. There are 50 spaces here, go nuts. So for argument's sake, if we went, if it was for a home, if you put, for example, living room, and then you put, for example, office, and then say bedroom 1 and bedroom 2. You can also do another one, which you can maybe call itemized, things that are itemized on your insurance, that kind of thing. It's totally up to you. Just remember that each item you add, you'll be able to assign to one of these categories. So think about that when you're creating the categories. The only other thing you need to do on this tab is the number of days for valuation. So if I put in that I'm due to have a valuation on a specific day, how many days before that do I want it to flag up and warn me that there's a valuation due? This includes weekends and bank holidays and everything, so it's just straightforward day count. So once you fill that in, you're ready to go. If you go to your item list, you can add in an item. So let's just say, for example, a laptop. Then it says which room or category is it in, and then you can select, okay, that's in the office. If it's got a serial number or code, whatever that might be, you can put in there. If you bought it from somewhere specific, you can put in who you bought it from. It's just a free type thing box. So if you go down, there's no drop down list. If you start typing that again later on, you'll get the same option. Original value. What was the original value? Let's just say you bought it for £800 originally. But let's say, for example, if you want to replace it now, it costs 1,000, because this, I mean, if you've got an old laptop, this may well change if you're replacing like for like or whatever the item is. I mean, if this is jewelry or something like that, it could be massive difference in value. You don't have to put the original value in unless your insurance states it and you want to put it in for that purpose. But obviously, for the sake of the spreadsheet, the replacement value is far more important. But if you do know both, put them in. The last date when you valued the item. So this, you don't have to put this in. If your insurance comes along and asks you every year, and every year you come and update this, you don't necessarily need to fill this in. But if this is something specifically, if this needs to be evaluated often, then what I would do is put the last date in. For the sake of this, let's just say that this was valued on the 26th of March 2020. I'll show you why in a minute. So if we put that was the last day of value, now you can put in when next does this need to have a valuation. So if I put in that was 12 months, a year, see that flags up because we're getting close to that. So now it's warning us that a new valuation is due. That's why you put these two values in. So if you don't want it to warn you, just don't put the next month in, leave that blank, and it won't warn you. If you do put that in, it'll warn you. And again, you don't have to put in the value date if you don't want. You're going to value them all now, and then you're going to value them all a year later, and you do them all at once. So it doesn't really matter because you'll remember when you last did it. But if you're valuing these at independent times of each other, and you need to remember, you can put the date in. And as I said, you can put in the 12 or however many months, and then it'll warn you when you get to that date again. So that's that. I mean, that's the setup tab in the item list. That's all you really need. This will tell you what is. You can sort by any of these columns if you want to see what's happening. But then I do have two report tabs just to give you some kind of output and figures that you can play around with. But if you just need to remember what's gone on that, this is what most people have, to be honest, and that should do the job. However, if you click on the category report, what this one lets you do is select any of those categories that you've done. So if I come in here and select office, and what it does is it lists the office items. It shows me in the next valuation due, it gives me the warning, and it shows me the percentage. So if you go back to the item list, and let's just say we put in here, for example, a sofa, and then the sofa was in the living room. There's no serial code. We don't want to put the supplier in, all that. We just say that it cost us that, whatever the case may be. We don't necessarily need to get an evaluation. That's fine. If we even put the minimum in, if we go back to the category report, we'll see now that only shows the laptop. It's only 1,000, and it gives it as a percentage. So it's 28.57% of the total renewal value, but it's 50% of the lines that we've used. If you go to the total report, it gives you the overall values here, total original, total replacement value, the difference. You see that the total replacement value less the total original value doesn't give you the difference, but it's only including ones where you've got both those values. So for argument's sake here, where you've got no original value, it doesn't include the sofa, it's just including that replacement. So you can see what the difference is basically on the ones that are valid between the total, the original and replacement value. Here you can see alerts, number of items listed, and then it lists all the different categories, and it shows you how many items in each room, what the replacement value is, what percentage that is of items, so 50% of the items, and what percentage it is of the overall value. Here you can see the original cost, if there was one, and then the difference if you put in fact, the replacement and the original cost. So this is just an overall view with the totals and then the listed per category that you've assigned. This lets you select one category and see that one in a little bit more detail. And that's the list that you keep on an ongoing basis, updating as you go along. If I get another valuation down on the 21, then I just change that and it restarts the countdown again for the next 12 months. So in a year's time, that'll flag up again. And that's it. Very, very straightforward to use. If this is of use to you, I wish you all the best. If you need something more involved, I know there's some insurance companies that want specific details and people want to keep track of more in-depth stuff and do more complex reporting. If that's something you need, let me know. I'm sure we can look at doing some custom versions for you. But if this works for you, then yeah, do get hold of it, and all the best with your insurance. Thank you very much. Goodbye.